Okay, I have no idea why this particular game is not able to actually be live. I was Did they not equip proper equipment for an actual thing? I don't know. I wish they would let me know that this could have been not live. Would have been nice. I wish it would actually pop up soon. Wonder if I need to relaunch the app because it's not working. I don't know. I don't get what's going on, but I'll try at least. I forgot to switch over to the shirt, but I guess I can do that while I'm trying to wait and see if it'll actually load. If it'll actually start the damn stream. This is a big debut for the Gargoyles. You can't just crap out right now. When alright, I got on an Iceland shirt just because I gotta rep my team. But when they say the game starts at 7, especially a hockey game, normally a hockey game takes a few minutes before it actually drops, but no later than 15 minutes after the start time. But with a broadcast, you have to start it early enough so that way people can actually start tuning into the game. I don't get why I haven't started it yet. Starting to wonder if they didn't even bother with the equipment. I'm starting to think they didn't even bother with the equipment. I could switch course for Ghost Pirates Swamp Rabbits if I have to, but that's already going. Everything else is already listed as it's already listed as starting soon. Like we're 8 minutes away from the slated time, and we're already not ready to go for a 7 o'clock game. I was gonna go on about this. Oh, so now you're actually able to work. You took your sweet ass time with it. Well, now I can actually get on to what I was actually supposed to be doing, and that is going over the context here. Why I said that this is the first ever season for the Gargoyles. You're cutting it awfully close, guys. Don't do it again. What do you mean you're unable to play it? It's good internet. Here I am, this early, and we're already having technical difficulties. Lovely. I guess while I'm trying to get Flow Sports to not act like a bunch of whiny babies, I guess I can go over a little bit of stuff. So, for the fourth year in a row, the Icemen end up losing to the Everblades in the playoffs. So, and they're once again going in with a different head coach. I have my concerns with John Tinkle. I'm just saying it that way. And now for the Greensboro Gargoyles. This is their first year in the league, but this is not the first rodeo for the Greensboro in hockey. They've had a team before. That's probably about all the context I can give. So we're mainly here to see how well the Gargoyles can do in their first ever season. That is, if Flow can actually function like it should. Starting to think it doesn't want me to watch the game. We're 5 minutes away from the slated start time, and don't see why it won't let. I don't know why it won't let me load into that. But it's able to let me load into an an AHL game just fine. I don't get it. Unless there's some sort of restriction where I can't watch the exact same game that if someone else is already watching, which I don't see there's any reason for it. Like, I'm trying to actually. They shouldn't be having this many issues. It's like, looking at pulling up another game, works fine. This game, apparently not. Yes, the best way I can describe that, the way this inaugural season is starting out as being an absolute dumpster fire. It's standard practice. It's standard practice, people. Standard practice. I'm starting. This is not how I wanted to start this thing off. It's you think they have it sorted out by you should have already had it sorted out, you dinguses. You better be thankful it takes a few minutes before the puck drop actually happens. Well, I guess if I have to, default over to Swamp Rabbit's Ghost Pirates. It's to try to get something, and if they don't fix it up before puck drop, because that is the only other team I said I would actually cover, and I think the Lions taking the time off. So I don't want to have to rely on audio for a selected game, because that's one of the stupidest ways to check in. And I don't know if I actually have the proper thing for Swamp Rabbits. It's not like I don't have the necessary things to adjust it on the fly. And their singing game is underway right now. I can't tell if it's underway because stuff broken. I'll just have to rely on whatever notifications come my way. And just double it up with Ghost Pirates and the Phantoms. Those monsters. I'll just have to rely on those two particular games to try to get some sort of coverage. But until I hear something about live feed being active, proper, let's see. So Ratzlaff, the guy that just got sent down, is starting in goal for the Iceman, whereas for the Gargoyles, it's Ruslan and Kashev. Yeah, have fun trying to pronounce some of these names. So I'm gonna have to just rely on some apps here until I can actually hear anything. Oh yeah, it's also decision day in soccer. For the MLS, that is. If you can't handle proper procedures right, you're not doing a good job at being set up. Really don't like having to go with this format to open up somebody's season. This is why the ECHL needs to ditch flow in favor of someone more reliable. And at least I'm actually able to see some games. By the way, I did disable the screensaver, so we should be able to actually get some uninterrupted play for a little bit. So the 7 o'clock batch game should already be going on. Hopefully, word comes out that something's actually working. I can always check for myself if need be. So, man, the Gargoyle is off to a fantastic start. At this rate, I'm just gonna have to start selling for for road games for Gargoyles. At this particular rate, yeah, it's still broken for right now. Unless something just refreshed or something. I'll just check it one more time before I just try to talk about something else. Well, I guess I'll have to fall back onto Swamp Rabbits versus Ghost Pirates. Because I'm pretty sure the Lions aren't even playing in it. I it's either that particular arena can't do anything worthwhile in terms of broadcasting. Wait, where's Phantoms? Could have sworn there was a Phantoms game going on at this point in time. Does it only show certain ones at a certain time? Because that's stupid. But no, all the live ones can be shown here. So I'm still waiting for that to load, and I'm just stuck with. Apparently that now went black. Or never mind, that one's briefly back up. So there's all kinds of technical difficulties going on. Guess I'll just have to sell with this for right now. And I don't know what's going on here. There already a broadcast delay going on? Or something? I mean, I know they're still having to go through like opening roster stuff. But man, there are so many issues going on with it right now. Nobody can even figure anything out. At least I can actually pay attention to something. And while waiting to figure here if anything is going on proper. So well, at least there's stuff going on here. Ghost Pirates are about to go on a power play. And I guess there's actually a game going on. I over in Greensboro, maybe maybe there's something going on. I'm just hoping something's actually functioning somewheres. There are so many issues going on here. So there are still issues with that broadcast. Wonderful. So until I see something happen, I'm probably gonna have to. There is a strong possibility I'm gonna have to roll a take two on the gargoyles. I'm strong. If they're gonna have this, I hope they don't have this many issues at home. Cause that would be one of the stupidest things to occur. Jeez. What a wonderful stream. Wonderful. I really don't want to have to end the stream prematurely over this. We're just gonna have. Let me see if I can just switch over to here. Try to see if I can set up some sort of miscellaneous thing I can make use of. And the Ghost Pirates actually just managed to score a goal right as I'm trying to get things sorted out here. I'm gonna see if I can do like some sort of little thing here. I'm just gonna have to do something like this. I'm trying, people. I'm trying. Since I need to update this, I'm just gonna have to make do with this as a miscellaneous. Just placeholder miscellaneous. Uh, just put the abbreviation there. It was a 4-on-4 goal. Would be nice if they show who's on the power play or anything. But I'm just gonna end up putting in minimal effort just to make sure I actually have something to watch. I just want to make sure I have something to watch, okay? I'm still gonna check in every so often with that one just to make sure, just to see when it's deciding to come on proper. I'm already hating this. That I'm already having to default over to this is just stupid. But I guess I gotta make do with what I can here. Technical difficulties, please stand by. And there's technical difficulties with that game. I I can tell. At, well, at least I haven't missed anything for Iceland Gargoyles. Can't if I end up having to be stuck if I end up having to be stuck with this particular one, I might as well just edit the title to where it just says technical, where it's like ECHL technical difficulty, a game not found or something. Actually considering doing something like that at this rate. And apparently the Packers have yet to depart for Arizona because of mechanical issues. Oh boy, I wonder how this could affect the game. There has to be some. Okay, this is just. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to suck it up with this. This is. I can't believe I'm having to deal with this. Just lovely. Let me see here. I should be allowed to edit this on the fly. And they said Benedict MacArthur got called for a penalty. At least I finally got word of something going on. Me digesting this. Technical difficulties, everybody. Can't can't believe this stuff is happening like this. In case it wasn't obvious why I don't like club sports, I hate to have had to default over to Swamp Rabbits versus Ghost Pirates. But I gotta have something to go through. Really hate this is the kind of stuff I'm met with. If this happens, I'm gonna have to try to cover the gargoyles again for another time. I should probably change the thumbnail too. See if I can actually listen to anything. I didn't mean to do that. So, let me get this straight. The audio side of things is working in here, but not the broadcast side of things. Lovely. So I guess I don't want it to pick up the game, dang nabbit. I guess I'll have to make do with this kind of approach for this particular game. I hate I'm having to rely on stupid audio. Oh, with no live feed. For visuals over this. Somebody said static's gone. Somebody is saying static's gone. Let me see if that's the case. And apparently there was a gargoyle's penalty. Static? What static? What about the away feed? Did they figure out how to handle the away feed on that? Nope. They're still having issues. Oh, something refreshed. Man, I hate flow sports. I'm trying to see if anything's working. To see if I can actually switch over properly. Nope. I'm stuck with having to rely on audio for the time being. We're just gonna have to try the gargoyles again at a later date. Before the month's out. Lovely. I suppose that I could at least just deal with some miscellaneous versus miscellaneous stuff. Because I've already decided on which Ghost Pirates game to go with. I'm gonna have to check the schedule for when the next time the Gargoyles play, because we're gonna. I guess I can just go back to some AHL stuff and see what I can do there. Until somebody actually tells me what's going on with the live feed. See if this helps. So, I'm just gonna have to make do with this for right now. And Cleveland, so I got queued up right now. Phantoms versus Monsters for the AHL. So I'm just stuck with this for the foreseeable amount of duration of this stream. But, and I just came back to see a power play goal. How lovely. I'll just make do with this. See if either AHL team impress me for long enough for me to actually see speed actually come up. Wait, is Flo actually back? Somebody said we got Flo. Somebody saying we got Flo here. Do we actually have Flo? I was just trying to figure it out. Do we actually have got Flo? So far, it doesn't really seem like it. Somebody might be jumping the gun here. Sure is taking forever to load. Unless I have to refresh it again. I don't think we even got Flo. I'm already had to restart the app. Oh, hey, look! Finally! It's actually a functioning picture! That took like, what, half an hour to actually finally get a picture? Took long enough? And go figure they don't even have somebody on an audio right now, so I gotta switch over to the regular Iceman feed. I can't believe we can actually do this game finally! All I missed were penalties. It's a miracle. I sucks I had to miss most of the first period where there was only 2 penalties called and it's scoreless. Let's try this again. Let's see if we can actually cover a game like this. I'm not changing the title because I'm sure there'll still be more technical difficulties as this goes on. I ain't taking any chances with this. At least we have actual feed now. And I actually managed to come back with there being some extracurricular. At least I can actually hear something. It's about time I get to cover this game. I was about to consider not covering this. I was going to consider looking at the schedule to see if there was anything to actually see if I can pick a different game, probably a road one. But But at least we can actually tune in to. At least I can actually tune in to flow. I wonder if they're. Wonder how the gargoyle commentator sounds amongst all this. Probably just bad. Downright bad. Let me see if I can double team this with Lehigh Found can't Lehigh Valley in Cleveland. There it is. I had that one on Rofi too. Let's see. Tie game at one apiece. I also they're having loading issues there. Alright, let's see if we can actually start this proper. See if we can actually start this proper, or just keep having technical difficulties as there was a penalty called against the Iceman. It's Jaden Condola for interference. So this is the first power play we're actually going to get to see. Literally. Can't tell you how happy I am to actually be able to see a live feed. But they're still having technical difficulties broadcast wise. Go flippin' figure. Still more issues. Didn't mean to do that. I meant to go into multi-view, but whatever. As long as I'm able to watch something. Really? 69 views, an average of a minute 9. We seriously hit that mark on this live feed because of some technical difficulty issues. And apparent, I guess somebody ain't doing their job maintaining penalty count proper. There it is. This is the kind of stuff that can raise the blood pressure. At least I could actually commentate or something now. But seriously, look at all those sponsors. Are they really that necessary? And I guess I get to hear the Iceman commentary. I don't think I'll ever get a chance to hear the Gargoyles home commentary at this point. Oh, okay, never mind. There's actually is a little bit of home commentary. And 11 seconds on the power play, or on the penalty. But at least they're actually able to do some stuff now. And that's going to end up being a penalty over. No capitalization as they're back, as Icemen go back to full strength. Maybe I can actually get in some commentary proper. or with only 3 minutes left to go in the period. And we're only getting to see what 5 minutes of this period after so many technical difficulties. And that one was saved by Rusian. I'll just call him by his first name since it's easier that way. Because I imagine whenever it comes time for the Gargoyles to play in Jacksonville, there's gonna be some name calling. And with some mispronunciations to be mixed in. I've been to enough Iceman home games to know how it happens. But at least there's actual progress here. I'm not gonna call out every player's name. I ain't gonna pay attention to everything in terms of a name. And but rats left is at net for the Iceman. See, we can actually start getting a little bit of commentary in Iceman. Sure. Well, they're not able to get anything going on right now. Then again, neither is Gargoyles. Who's gonna get in possession of the puck? Well, it's in the neutral zone, but it's now in the Iceman zone. On with Gargoyles trying to retain possession whenever they can. And these are gonna actually go back to some old commentary stuff I did for the last game. And man, I really hate having to deal with technical difficulties like that. And that wasn't even on my end. That was on Flo's end. Seriously though, the ECHL needs to find a better broadcasting partner. And by the way, there is not a new CBA in place, which means they're going under the old CBA rules until a new deal is reached. Oh, yet there goes the commentary team. If there even is one. They probably didn't know that they had a game to commentate. Or if they're probably speaking too quiet to actually pay attention. And at least I can actually tune into the road feed with a minute left to go in the first period. So we ended up missing the first 15 minutes of the darn game, only to get the final 5 minutes of the first period because of technical difficulties. This is the kind of stuff that you need to run through during the off season. Always make sure you have your equipment checked out and everything. Sorry about that, everyone. Just had a phone call come up. Wanting to ask a question, but I didn't forget about this. I mean, it did end up being the end of the first period, so it is an intermission. So at least I can actually update this here. It's a scoreless first period. I'm just thankful I didn't miss any goals after all that came up. But I do need to get a sip of water after all that nonsense. But I just needed to at least come back in here and fix the period thing for where it's intermission. I seriously wish that they would stop trying to mess things up. I really do stand by that the ECHL needs to find a better streaming partner. Like these, like Peacock's right there. They're taking pretty much everything. Could always go to CBS Sports with the Paramount Plus. Shoot, they can just partner with the Turner Sports. Go put this $7 back. And jeez, we had more people passed away. Can't believe this. This is some way for the inaugural season to go. Don't even get to see any cool intro things. I'm still not happy over that mess. I didn't even get a chance to do a proper delay test. And now they're actually about to start back up for the second period. And yeah, commentary's going on. They're heading back out for the second period. Maybe we can actually watch through a full period of hockey this time. Would be nice, wouldn't it? All right, we're actually able to watch through the second period. Yeah, I remember who Grando is. Maybe we can. Now I can actually see what goes on this little back and forth here. Everyone wonder if there really is a bad guy at this point. Really, the being bad guy is the people who don't want to actually put the attention to making sure our broadcast works good. Not changing much of anything at this point. What you're stuck with is what you're stuck with. See here. Or try to find something to talk about. What about maybe gargoyles in the Aspen zone? No? It's just, well, they're looking to try to get something. Obviously, I'm going to be nowhere as good as our commentator. Either of them. So I probably would have a chance at doing better than whoever we had last year, or for road commentary. Wouldn't be surprised if he didn't come back. His big priority is baseball anyway. I'm not gonna bother tuning into any other additional game at this point. I'll just look at Phantom's Monsters at another date. Maybe on their own separate terms. We'll see. There's still gonna be plenty of chances for me to take a look at their games. Just not happy right now. There have been some quick rapid succession bone something. Just, well, they really haven't given me much of anything to talk about because I haven't had anything to talk about ever since they actually managed to finally put the game on the broadcast. I'm gonna be hammering that thing down for a while because it's what I want to do. And, and you better calm down on all those ads. Looks ugly on the ice. And we actually managed to see something actually score. First goal of the season is actually scored, and we actually saw goals scored. We actually had one scored. And if the Iceman would get it in, it'd be nice for me to see who got it in. And I'm having to use app stuff. I guess internet really loves being internet, am I right? It's good old internet being internet. It was Nathan Dunkley who got it in and is credited for the goal. This was much more tightly contested. It's pretty clear here that offense is not going to be the big focus this time around. Unlike last night where we had so many points scored that it probably didn't set the record, to be honest. As I'm sure they're because that really wasn't as high scoring enough to break any records. But it was still points scored. But things are happening, whether we like them or not. Girls, what else way? And that was stop. And wow, they state the name of the family in the fan penalty box. Yeah, let's expose what our last names are on national TV. Well, not really national TV, but let's expose it on a broadcast. Expose it to all the fans in attendance. They'll surely make us famous. Why not? We had a DJ A-R-A-B-E exposed during intermissions. Why not share last names of families in the fan penalty box for everybody to see? Everybody wins. Yeah, I seen how that story ends. It's not even about the game itself. I want to know how many teams in the ECHL actually do a fan penalty box. Now that I think about it. I'm just trying to keep an eye on what goes on. A lot of games are starting to end. As they're going on media timeout. Send out the ice cream, everybody! Send out the ice cream! We gotta maintain a tiny portion of the ice! Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here. Seriously though? Oh, I bet you the main reason they do these kinds of timeouts is just for the media. Whoop-de-doo, hurricane with great clips. I remember the last time I went there. I haven't been back since. I mean, score the first goal of the game ain't much of an advantage if you can't hold on to it. Just as how that went for the Royals last night. But that's enough about them. And let's go Giants. Wonder how poorly pronounced that's gonna be. So they're just taking breathers and breathers and breathers. Take more breathers than I should. But honestly, with how poor that first period went, it was bound to finally be boring. And well, pushed into the goal, but no puck. It's going to be play continuing. Iceman with the puck in the gargoyle zone. Or they just blow it dead, I guess. Maybe offsides. That's going the opposite way. Eh, to the Iceman zone. That you're being consistent as hell. Watch me become so generic you can't even tell that I'm even an announcer. Or that you probably could tell I was just a typical announcer. Because I'm just generic. With my statements, I'm just generic in my tone. All I'm doing is just speaking in the same tone over and over again for the exact same thing. Saved, rebound. Nope. No save rebound. This is actually Iceman going down towards the gargoyle zone. Trying to get it in. Not able to that time on the rebound. Just saved. See what I mean? Just I'm just so tired. And after all the crap that went on earlier, I'm just down to being generic like your typical announcer. I'm sure that's how your typical announcer sounds like. So generic. Always so generic. Sorry to be excited for a bunch of this stuff. Oh yeah, here's also typical generic announcer. When it's a score for your team, score. When it's a score for the opposing team, score. That's really the genericness shown. You're not even hiding your bias. Well, then again, they tend to be. They can at times be biased. You'll occasionally find one that's not afraid to not be biased. Well, let me rephrase that. Not afraid to set aside bias. Sing saves and saves and saves and saves for a media timeout. I'm just thankful that there was eventually a broadcast proper because as if I wasn't able to watch through the vast majority of the game, I was gonna have to just look at the schedule and decide which one to go with. If to be a take two. See if the Gargoyles can do anything. So far, it doesn't seem like it. Well, typical expansion was, regardless of how the rules are, tend to be you'll always struggle in your first year. There are exceptions, but you tend to struggle. Don't make much of a difference. It don't make much of a difference. At least we're able to actually watch some hockey. And I can try to provide some coverage on what's going on right now. And that shot was blocked. And more blocked shots. There are blocked shots from everybody. In fact, the opposite way. Kazayev is how he's pronouncing it. But Kazayev was able to actually stop that one from going in. There have been in some opportunities for both teams, to say the least. I guess the teams playing felt bad for the people who didn't get to actually see the first 10 minutes that they decided to hold off on the scoring duties till this period. That would make sense. Let's make it up for you right here. Let's allow one goal. Just one goal, okay, guys? Will that get you back in our good graces? But yeah, that first period was a dumpster fire of a way to open things. And there are still some visual issues. But at least I'm actually able to watch a game. Wow, behind the goaltender and stopped. Wow. Look, that almost went in, but it wouldn't. But Kajayev was able to get stops when he needed to. I'm not covering the Icemen. I'm already getting to see their home games, which is like half of their season, so why bother? If I'm already seeing half their games, just about, in person. Gotta show love to others. Well, that one almost went in, and it didn't. I like how he's actually calling names proper like that. The Gargoyles on the rebound. Not able to do a good job on it. They have to regroup. And they're able to do so. A, a little slip, but nothing major to warrant a penalty. Well, not more like nothing. Nothing that could warrant a penalty anyway. They're still looking for the first ever goal in franchise history. And they're not able to there, or as that's saved. Ratsclaff, who, as I said before, was sent down to the from the AHL. Forgot to mention it was by the Rochester Americans. I wonder if that's a good idea now. Oh my goodness, a save and some extracurricular. Van Y in the middle of it there. And they just go immediate timeout. Jimmy John's lucky row gets to deal with a bunch of shenanigans, like always. So the Eastern bracket is set. He's unable to talk about some stuff. All eyes are on the West. I'm probably gonna stay up to see how the final results go. Just to see. Because there is some important stuff coming up. 5 minutes ago in the second period here. And jeez. So apparently George Kittle is back. There's all kinds of stuff going on. I'm trying to figure things out here. Not a single penalty called this period up till now. As of now. We'll see if that changes. And that's saved. Just trying to keep going on a back and forth here. I'll read through it as I'm trying to pay attention here. It's time winding down. Gargoyles are hoping to get something. So, I guess I'll just go ahead and start reading off Eastern Conference standings. Orlando will go up against Chicago Fire as a 9 versus 8. Winner gets to play against Philadelphia. Columbus will have to go visit Cincinnati. Nashville will go visit Miami. New York City will visit Charlotte. That's quick. Back and forths here, in the backs and forths. There's been all kinds of weirdness going on in Eastern Conference. And there's now a minute left to go in the second period. We're actually able to pay attention to stuff. Ooh. They call a penalty on Penalt. So the Icemen, so unless the Gargoyles score, Icemen are going to be on a penalty kill going into the third period. But we're still focusing on Gargoyles here. So Gargoyles looking, trying to look for an opportunity. Iceman clear or not. It's still in their zone. It's for hooking. Okay, makes sense. Time winding down. As this is cleared proper this time. And this is gonna do it for the second period. So there's one more period left to play. I'm gonna take another break. Very sorry about that. Acting really needed to take that break. So that just had a bit of a thought over. It's Columbus Crew versus FC Cincinnati. That's a battle of Ohio. And I think Jimmy Haslam owns Columbus Crew right now. Imagine if Mike Brown just so happened to have owned FC Cincinnati. You know how hilarious of a battle that'd be? If they actually did. I was just thinking. I know that Mike Brown doesn't own FC Cincinnati, but imagine if he did. Then we could have had a battle of the AFC North in soccer form. Because I'm pretty sure Jimmy Haslam now has owned the Columbus Crew for a couple years now, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, he also has oh yeah, that's right. They bought a 25% stake in the Milwaukee Bucks. Forgot about that. South Ohio Playoffs Edition. Sorry if I'm not talking much here. So they're probably about to come back from intermission here. Jeez, Farina's at my door. We got to talking about concerts. Apparently, some band coming here. Looks thought they weren't, but turns out it was somebody. Turns out it wasn't through his usual source, just on the actual website. Then it turns out it's on the exact same day I'm slated for another concert. Oops. Can't be at two places at once. Things like that happen. See if we can actually get through this here. But now the third period is underway. As this is actually opening on a penalty, a 5-on-4. So Gargoyles still got a couple chances. Oh yeah, that's the penalty over. Icemen are at full strength again. Hmm. I was thankful I'm actually able to watch something here. Penalties have been pretty light for this one. Been pretty light. More back and forth goodness. You gotta love the back and forth goodness. You will embrace it until morale improves. It's been very close. You might as well call these like sibling teams or something. They're in different divisions though. That puck got stolen away by the Icemen as they're heading down, looking to set up for a potential extension. Just fighting their time, looking for opportunities. Nope, it's turned over again. This time it's the Gargoyles' turn to send it down, and they can't figure anything out. So the Icemen will take the puck back, send it down. Some contested stuff of Gargoyles with it, sending it down. Out poor matchup. Up and it's now going to be Gargoyles will still recover it. It's still back to some contention. And Icemen are now out forcing the Gargoyles to regroup. As that one, I don't know what went on with that puck. I guess if it works out, it works out because then there's some more back and forth action. As nobody can consistently stay within the other zone for a good amount of time. Gee, I wonder if it's going to be like defense and it's slopped. Well, it's kind of been like that. Defensive slog, everybody. Oh, hey, there's the mascot. I see that they're trying to take it. I see what they're doing here. Their mascot understands what they need to do to be a mascot and trying to take a page out of the Iceman approach. I see what's going on here. They are siblings. At least there's more interactivity in their first home game than Davy. In general. Oh, with that kind of stuff. You can definitely tell a lot of people showed up to see the Gargoyles play their first ever game. So I imagine they probably would be able to sell out. It just depends on how well they market the team and everything. I'm sure they're happy to have a team again, but marketing and stuff is important. You don't do a good job on the ice and you don't market the team well, you're not going to get many butts in the seats. You can also do good, but not do well in marketing and not be able to bring butts to seats. It's the nature of things. It's nature how things work. Iceman into the gargoyle zone. Looking for any opportunity they can find. Or not. Force to regroup. With pressure. Not great. Not not great. More contention. And nobody can seem to do a good job on offense. That's what it seems like to me. Now the Gargoyles are going to get a chance in the Iceman zone. shot now, and they're gonna call that one stopped. And now the Western clashes have kicked off for soccer. I don't think we'll be able to talk about how that goes, but I'll be keeping track on how those scores go and who gets eliminated. Also, Philadelphia Union wins the Supporter Cup. And, jeez, can't believe she's doing that at my door. Thankfully, I don't have to leave my room for the rest of the night, so I can rest easy. But still, it'd be nice. Hey, we got some slipping. I wonder how many times players have slipped in this game that we've actually been able to see. There was probably more slipping going on when things were off the air. And they're gonna and there's the extracurricular Ertishki games involved. There's probably a couple others involved. Definitely some gargoyles involved. Um Kajayev is just looking on like, hey bro, you good? You need me to come over there? I still question why do you show the people's names like that for the penalty box. But it is going to be a penalty for Redmond Savage for high sticking. So Icemen are going to be the ones on the power play. Oh no, that's actually called against the Icemen. Okay, I thought that was the Gargoyles. Never mind. It's Icemen who are on the penalty kill and the Gargoyles on the power play. I didn't pay much attention to the logo there. Honestly, didn't know that we even had. I honestly didn't know that we even had a player named Redmond Savage on the team. Guess he ended up being too savage to get himself in a penalty box. There's only been like one score the entire game, but Seriously, though, I didn't even know we had a guy called Redmond Savage on the team. And we actually have a score for the Gargoyles. They managed to tie things up. They just said it was Kelly who just tied it up. First goal in franchise history. And there's a discussion going on. And they're going to take a further look. They look, well, they're looking at it for, I guess, they're saying they're looking at it for goaltender interference. Huh. See, it was waived as no goal. And what's the decision here? Well, it's got, they they did a review and they waved it off. No, there's there ain't no goal. Well then. Well, I think that's gonna light a big fuse over the Gargoyles. Fans sure aren't happy. So it's gonna remain for another half minute of power play. What the heck just happened? What the heck just happened? I need to check. I can't cover anything with how this camera's. What the heck just happened? I don't know what happened, but for some reason I had the camera and mic pop off for whatever reason. I don't get it. And we already got injury to Ratzlav. Oh boy. Ratzlav is down. Let's see if I can see it on the replay. Oof. You hate to see that happen. He just got sent down to the ECHL by the Rochester Americans. Jeez. Really, fans? You're so afraid of being on TV right now when there's an injury going on? At least pay attention. 'Cause I don't know if it's to do. I'm not sure if it's gonna be to do with like equipment malfunction or if he is legitimately hurt. But well, if it was an equipment malfunction, he'd be able to be good to go. But if it is an actual legit injury, he's gonna have to come off the ice. I can definitely tell where the priorities are. We're dealing with a little bit of a delay here. So looks like we're all good and for the remaining 4 seconds of the penalty, and that's Iceman back at full strength. So I guess that was an equipment malfunction? Because it didn't look like they took him off the ice. They didn't, unless they did switch him and they didn't show it. I don't know why they wouldn't. But regardless, we're back in action. Guess I can tell they on whenever they decide to cut over to the goalie's back. Maybe. We'll find out in future reports if that was an actual what actually happened. And but but puck is in the gargoyle zone. As there is now an advancement by the gargoyles into the Iceman zone, looking to try to get something going. And they're hoping to actually finally get a goal after that one was waved off. I guess they decided, you know what? We're not gonna give you that goal. Welcome to the ECHL, buddy. It wouldn't be all that surprising knowing that we are talking about refs. But there's really not much time left for them to get a goal in. And that shot's blocked. And Gargoyle is now trying to go down there. Another block. chicken dance cam. Now you're looking at, like, I swear, it's stupid, but also, is anybody even doing it right? I think some are just happy to be on a camera. Sure don't feel like much. Wow, that was blocked. It's a lot of back and forth. It's all about the defense today. But can anybody do anything? Probably not. Well, that one, I guess they thought that they could imitate some of those Nottingham Forest players. Maybe. So it's in the gargoyle zone. Lions man with the puck. Nope. It's gargoyles now with the puck. Sending it all the way across the ice. And there's not going to be an icing. Play will continue until morale improves. Gargoyles need to hope they can finally get on the board here if they want a chance to at least force an overtime. At least. And it's waved off. In the gargoyle zone. That was a sandwich that was made out of one of the Iceman players. As the back and forth will continue. Nobody can consistently stay in one zone. Did you know that? Did you know that they keep going back and forth and nobody can consistently stay in the zone? And there's the save. More misses. And the puck is finally going to be sent back to another zone for the Gargoyles to regroup. Wonder how long that was going to keep going for. And with time winding down, it ain't looking too good for the home opener. And there's only 5 minutes left to go in regulation. Wouldn't be surprised that they start pulling their goalie soon. But that requires consistency. They're starting. And they're safe. So that was just equipment malfunctions. You got your typical media stuff. Media. I bet you all those people who tuned in over this madness was like, Jesus, it's just a minute. It's like everybody tuned in into the part where the man decided to rage at the uh, app or not functioning the way it should over a game, despite everything else working fine. Looking at 129 live views across an average of a minute 43 minutes, with a peak of 4 concurrent viewers at brief time. Jeez. I think that's minute 43, unless I'm mistaken. Could just only be a total of hour 43 people have been here for, or at different points. How do I know? And man, all these goals are being stopped. And these attempts. And some not so great maneuvers from both sides during that process too. But there's not going to be a penalty. Why would they call a penalty on that? Try to go straight for the shot, but it was a miss wide. Iceman with the puck. Try to send it down, but it ain't gonna go that well. Gargoyle's looking to head straight back down. Then some passing around out in the Iceman zone. On Gargoyles are gonna have to regroup. It was shots and shots. Hoping for something. And trying to get some turnovers in, but it just goes back down toward the Gargoyles zone. Oh, but they're able to advance into the Iceman zone, but there's more flipping and tripping, and that puck is out of the play. Time is surely winding down. You gotta wonder how long before they pull the goalie. Gargoyles, that is. You gotta wonder how much longer. The puck is moving. And that goes back to face off. Because of a save. But it's in the Gargoyle zone, so they can't really afford to pull their goalie at this point. I imagine they're going to try to look at some point. With 3 minutes left to go. Still in the Gargoyle zone. Being contested on both sides. Trying to advance. In advance. Are they going for the extra man? Are they going to go for it? And that's just going to be an icing. So they might start considering pulling him now. See, there's the face-off. They did, in fact, pull him. So it is an empty net with the extra man. Just had to pay attention. 2:05 to go. They're probably going to keep rolling with the extra man on the ice. It was hard for me to tell at first. It wasn't until I saw an empty net before I saw they actually put the extra man out there. Time running out to at least force a tie. Gargoyles passing. Looking for the chance. They finally get it in on the extra man. This is gonna be for reals this time. The first one in Gargoyles history finally gets in on the extra man. Tied at 1 apiece. Minute 39 to go in regulation. And we're back to even strength. And this time there's not going to be a review over it. They're going to let it stand. We are now tied. I think somebody is messing it up here. They're not. Somebody forgot to add the goal onto the thing in the game center. More back and forth goodness. And it's more back and forth goodness. Wonder if somebody. Yeah, they fixed it there. David Gagnon manages to secure the first goal in franchise history. And time is stopped. 50 seconds to go. In regulation. Hotly contested in Greensboro. They're really trying to make up for the lost time of coverage. What's offense? Well, all you need to know is that offense means nothing. Yesterday, it was what was defense. Today is what was offense. And Gargoyles are looking to try to win in regulation. They're hoping to get more going. And they're gonna call that a penalty. And now we got some extracurricular going on, and let's see how they sort this one out. It's gonna be at least a power play for the Gargoyles with 17 seconds left in regulation. Or wait, what? So are they calling it against the Gargoyles or something? Is that what it is? Is a penalty on the Gargoyles? I thought it was going to be against the Iceman, but I guess they're going to call. I okay, so they are going to. Okay, so they're only calling it. It is what I was thinking. It was a penalty against the Iceman for tripping. So yeah, they should have. So it was going to be at least a penalty on Van Why, but after the play, that's definitely what caused all the heat. They, I guess they were hoping another call was made. They were probably thinking it should have been a 4-on-4. So Garen Van Why is going to have to serve 2 minutes in the penalty box. Whoop-de-doo. So it's 5-on-4 for 17 seconds. And that puck is going to be cleared. And I don't think they're going to get another chance in regulation. That's going to end up being what ends it there. It's going to be the end of. They're going to go into overtime hockey. Because of how overtime hockey works, it'll be a 4-on-3 to kick off the 7 minutes of overtime. So both teams will walk away with 1 point at minimum. Tied at 1 apiece. Gargoyles on a power play. Man, this is the second game in a row that we've seen go into overtime. Like in just this weekend of sports. If you know what I mean. Yeah, they just said it there, 4-on-3. Because there's an active penalty. So it's gonna be 1 overtime period for 7 minutes. In the event that nobody scores after that, they'll go to shootout. But both teams will get at least a point. And so, first the scorer wins. As tactics are not going to go all that well. Because, well, you're talking about overtime hockey in the regular season. They ain't the same as playoff hockey. That shot is saved, but Retzlaff having Argos are trying to take advantage of this power play, and they haven't been able to at this point. It's been difficult. That one was wide, and now the Icemen are actually able to advance the puck down, or not, and it's going back the opposite way, and wide of the net, apparently. Gargoyle is struggling on the power play. They have they had one waved away on the power play, and that is stopped. That's gonna do it for the penalty. It's gonna be 4-on-4 till about the next whistle, and that's the cover. So now we'll go back. Now we'll go to regular overtime hockey of 3-on-3. Multiple chances for the Gargoyles to get it in on that penalty, and they couldn't do it. Now they gotta do it in overtime, 3-on-3 hockey. And there's their mascot again. Trying to get on whatever they can. Iceman with the puck. Trying to advance. Get something going. Circles. Going. It's hard to keep track. And now they gotta go regroup because it went past the line. Don't want to risk an offsides penalty. Or an offsides call, I mean. Now they go back across. There's a lot of time being chipped away. And Nicemen are going to have to regroup again. Yet to disappoint. I'm not sure about yet to disappoint. On the way your results are, but at least for these two games we've gotten to see to an extent. It hasn't been disappointing. Evidently playoff hockey. Nope, it's regular season hockey. Just overtime. And with time winding down, Gargoyles are trying to find ways to score, but they can't seem to do so. Neither can the Iceman for that matter. Sure, same, wow. And it's definitely time running low for either to get a score in, and that's a save. Time still ticking away. I guess neither side is willing to give up a score at this point because they know one matchup could mean the end. Two minutes left in the overtime period. Everyone, Gargoyles try to look for options, but they're having to regroup. And that shot is stopped. And now the Icemen have it. And they're trying to find their own opportunities. Advanced. Are they saying that's going to count as a goal? So they're saying that's going to be a goal. Like, and with little time left, like, yeah, that's a goal. Oh, that is gonna do it. That is actually how the game is set to. And yeah, that's how they're gonna end it. The game winner goes to the Iceman as they manage to spoil the party. They're in Greensboro. First professional goal for Redmond Savage. And that's what does it there. Close competitive game. As this is as the inaugural season begins with their home opener being spoiled by older brother in a final score of 2-1. At least we actually got to follow through with this, so I don't have to worry about having to give on another going with a different game to try to cover it again. But maybe the Ghost Fighters are fair better. We'll see. But both teams will get a point, which will help in the standings. And until next time, travel safely. Good night, everyone.